Hello, hello. Testing, testing. I am still waiting to see if this is live. Let's see. All right, I just got an email saying that I'm live. But my stream dashboard is not populated yet. Let's see. Sorry, this is new. Okay, it looks like we are live. So hey everyone, I'm Jamie Gray. I am the designer, founder, whatever of WeWrite. Um, and I just wanted to hop on a stream real quick to kind of explain where we're at in the development process, and kind of show off some fun things. I really don't have a plan for this stream. I'm planning on just kind of going through our documentation that we've been putting together. By we, I am not being schizo. I've been working with one of my old colleagues from ParkHub, and he's been giving me some advice, and he was really excited about this wiki that I spun up. So, first of all, this thing that I'm showing you is not built on WeWrite. This is a media wiki software instance. Once WeWrite is built, we'll move all of the documentation over there and start eating our own dog food, as they say. Yeah, eat your own dog food. So for those of you who aren't super familiar with WeWrite, and let's see. Also, I'll probably like clip this up into shorter clips further down the road. So even if I get 0 viewers right now, I'm at least getting content that I can cut up into smaller pieces. But yeah, so for those of you who don't know, WeWrite is a social wiki where every page is a donation target. So basically, if you write a bunch of stuff, you basically have 1,000 little GoFundMe's or Kickstarters or whatever. I've been writing philosophically about it. Instead of running yourself to exhaustion on the content treadmill, you can just keep iterating in public. So if you click on content treadmill, there's a whole little essay that I wrote against posts, right? I hate the idea of posts. I hate the idea of having to run as fast as possible to produce tons of content. Maybe it would be better if we could kind of noodle on things and kind of nurture ideas instead of having to constantly produce. That kind of sucks. So yeah, I mean, GitHub isn't really about constantly producing content. It's about actually building the thing. And, obviously the activity feed can be, it can be gamed. People will, like, they'll make patterns in their activity feeds and whatever. But really, at the end of the day, it's what code have you written? So WeWrite, the corollary would be, what words have you written? Are you a poet? Poets shouldn't have to be constantly producing tons and tons of content. Poets should be allowed to post a really good poem and make tons of money from it. So let's walk through some of the technical specs. The core of it, pretty similar to how a media wiki thing works. The core of it is that everything is based on a page. Pages will have content. You'll be able to write in them, just like this. You'll be able to, add text, add images, and whatever. There's a few things, like the creator of a page will be the owner. unless the owner decides to give it away to a community. That's explained in this ownership page. A few extra fields on a page, created at will be permanent. We're not going to let you change that because it's part of the version history. But the custom date could be used for all sorts of things. Most notably, it'll be used to populate a timeline. We haven't designed this yet, but a timeline is, you could imagine maybe recreating a history of events, ordered events. You could write about something in the future. You could make a short story that's set in the year 2055 or whatever. So that is one of the custom fields. Another custom field is going to be geographic. Pages will be able to live on a map. This could be really cool. You'd be able to see nearby pages. So in this example right here, this little sketch, that blue dot is obviously your current location, and you'd be able to see pages nearby. Maybe this works with the timeline as well. You could scrub through nearby pages over time. So you could see what happened in my neighborhood 100 years ago or whatever. So we're kind of getting all over the place. That's the page object. Now, a user will also kind of behave like a page. So in this same way, if I click up here, this is my user page. This is just ugly on MediaWiki, right? They use namespaces. They say user. It's like, okay, just make me a user. Don't use a namespace. So your user will be associated to your login, but you'll also be able to edit your user page. So basically, this is like a giant bio, and you can extend the bio. You can make it say as much or as little as you want. Users will also have some other parameters. You'll be able to see the list of pages owned by the user and the list of categories that user has created. So you'll be able to kind of browse each user's stuff. This will all be based on permissions too. Some things might not be public for everybody, and we'll get into that, I'm sure, eventually. I don't really have a plan for this, so we can just go to privacy. So yeah, page visibility settings, you'll be able to change it from by default it'll probably be public, but you'll be able to lock it down to where only certain user groups or certain users can see it. Maybe even, with specific communities. And we haven't gotten to the communities yet. Communities are basically just groups of users, but they have their own moderation policies and stuff. So basically the impetus behind a community is that you're kind of building a shared understanding of the world. You have a bunch of shared pages that you all collaborate on, and if you suddenly run into some sort of disagreement with this community, it should be easy for you to just pack up your bags and go, and find other people that you agree with. And actually, this is kind of part of the lore behind WeWrite. I'll go ahead and click into this. So under the origins, I actually created a niche political wiki. But then I reached some sort of disagreement with the administrators, and I was banned. So that's no biggie. It shouldn't be as big of a deal as it was, because then I had to go set up a new wiki where the ideas that I was promoting would be allowed. And it's that process should not be hard. Like, this should be easy for everybody. Everyone should be allowed to like create a constellation of their ideas and like join up with others and collaborate with others. And if you run into disagreements, it's fine. You should be able to walk separate ways and easily take your little constellation of ideas and put them somewhere else. So, yeah. I want it to be easier for people to split and take their ideas with them. So, yeah. And that gets into the community stuff. So a community, collection of users, establish collective ownership of pages. A community also is itself kind of a page in the same way that a user is. It can write about itself. It can, whatever. It shows the list of pages. You can appoint admins. Basically, this is kind of like Discord, but instead of this noisy chatter, you're building these like more permanent. You're kind of like editing these more permanent pages that are constantly evolving over time. There's no evolution of thought going on in a Discord. There's just noise. There's just chaos. There's no permanence. There's no like, what are we about or whatever. It's just chatter. Communities will be able to show or hide their member list. Members will also be able to change this. You could privately associate with a community, or you could publicly do so. That gets into like we need to be really focused on privacy, so that we can facilitate like actual idea creation. And then categories are not pages. They're basically folders of pages. So categories, that's the fourth data type. It's just a string of text. It will kind of behave similarly to how categories work on MediaWiki. We need to come up with the UI, but they'll likely be shown as chips at the bottom of the page, like this. We'll probably have a view for a category tree, which will show kind of the structure and whatever. This is a dark mode sketch, so sorry if it's hard to read. I don't have any like high fidelity of the categories just yet. But yeah, I mean, these should be like easily draggable, renameable, sortable, all that stuff. Yeah, click and drag to rearrange, rename, delete. And this stuff is like not easy on MediaWiki. So one example, actually, let me just show you my essays. And these essays are like philosophical musings about this, but categories are going to work way better on WeWrite compared to MediaWiki because this category is not easily renameable. Since I have 22 pages in essays, if I wanted to rename it to, for example, musings, as I say right here, then I would have to go into each of those 22 pages and rename it. I would have to like, so to show you how you would do it visually, you go in, you click edit, you click categories, and then you delete this, and then you make a new one. But you have to do that every time. You have to do that 22 times, which is insane. I'm not going to do it. Again, innovation is laziness. The only reason I'm building WeWrite is because MediaWiki sucks and because it's exhausting to use. And I want it to be easier. I feel like people don't contribute as much because it's got a high friction point. So yeah, and I'm also thinking maybe each of these essays could become a standalone video for WeWrite, because like a lot of these are good kind of headlines or whatever. So yeah. And this is my first live stream for WeWrite, so I'm just kind of experimenting with showing you guys some stuff. The themes, let's just keep going in order. Themes I'm really excited about. I want everybody's writing to be easily viewable in any environment. One that I'm particularly excited about is the red one, because that's like super good for really low light environments. Maybe you want to read in the dark. I do. And then one exciting thing about the black mode, when the background is on black, is we're going to have an option to be fully immersive. This is an insight that I don't think Apple has even considered or discovered. And I'd like to make a comparison of like how Apple does it, because they don't do this. And you'll have to excuse how bad this GIF is. But when the background is black, we could take the UI and the text all the way to the edge. And it would basically make it look like your device has an even smaller bezel, which everybody's all excited about, the bezels getting smaller. Okay, well, let's take advantage of it and actually show it in the UI and make it feel even bigger. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. This is a bit higher fidelity right over here, but it's smaller, so that's not really helpful to you. So yeah, that's exciting. Images will also allow for two different versions, a dark mode and a light mode. We're not going to go with coloring, styling, or whatever. A dark image is going to be just dark. We're not going to let you have like different colored versions of it. But this could be cool for like sketches, and even Apple does a really good job. Like Apple's documentation has dark versions for images and diagrams and stuff. And then it would also be kind of fun to be able to sync the color that you pick with the app icon, because then it's like you're really peeking at what am I getting myself into. Like if I change it to red on black and my app icon shows that, then I know exactly, like whenever I click on it, I know that that's what it's going to look like. It's just kind of a cool way. But apparently this might be hard, according to my colleague. He said apparently Apple requires user input to change the app icon, which would be dumb because I want to automatically do it based on their theme. So we'll have to look into the viability of that. Version history, every page is going to be constantly editable and changeable. So currently, let's take a look at how MediaWiki does it. If I click view history, this is gross. I mean, whatever, it gets the job done, but it's like, it's just ugly. So WeWrite instead is going to have a flickable film strip. So you'll be able to, you'll open up this film strip UI and you'll be able to swipe through it really quickly. It'll be like Apple Photos, where you take that film strip and you go and you just fly through it. And even Apple Photos doesn't have that haptic thing. Like, it doesn't feel like it's clicking through. But we will add haptics. So subtle haptic clicks could be deployed to make the film strip feel tactile. That would be awesome. Imagine flying through versions of a page, and it just feels like the iPod click wheel or something. So here's a little bit better of a sketch. Again, high fidelity is still in the works, but this is what the graph could look like. Number two, basically, uh, like the green is additions, the red is subtractions. That middle one is just additions. Well, there could also be one of just subtractions. And then down here, that shows the position of where the graph is. It's down below. And you would just thumb through it real quick, single-handedly, This is what it could look like while it's moving. And then maybe we could reveal more details. Like if you pause on one of these, then we could start revealing more details, like when this was done, who did it, what, maybe there's a like a subject line for the changes. Change summary, as we call it here, and the data structure. So yeah, version history will be really cool. So yeah, film strips, diffs. So diff views are comparisons between the previous and the current. These are usually highlighted red and green. They're sometimes shown as like side-by-side comparisons. I don't know if this will be prioritized immediately. Let's look at the Wikipedia. Only because the film strip will be intuitive. Like, you will be able to see, oh, this is a new paragraph based on the film strip. So we might not even need to show diffs at first. Maybe diffs could be an option. This one doesn't have very good visualizations. Let's just go to Google and type in diff view. So yeah, in the film strip, maybe there's an option to show diff views. But here's the comparison, like red and green, addition, subtraction, that sort of thing. Oh no, OBS is destroying my computer. It's probably also this background. I got this. I don't even know where I was whenever I got this background. Check it out. It's pretty, isn't it? Oh, it's Dallas. But I don't know where I was flying to. Oh, crap. Look, I got the spinning wheel of death. Well, that sucks. All right. Oh, crap. Where are we? All right. Let's keep going through this. Map. Already discussed the map, but we can revisit it. The maps can show up in a lot of different places, too. So, like, not only does a page exist on a map, so we'll probably find some way of connecting those two, like from a page, view it on the map. But you could also view map results on search. You could show a user's list of pages in a map view. Categories, communities. And that's interesting, actually. I'm going to go ahead and say the map view could potentially be a function of the list view. Because lists are just collections of items. And if a lot of your items have geographic data, you could just view your list on the map. So list, that really just doesn't need to be explained. Lists, I don't think. And, oh, hell yeah, I was already getting close to this. Lists will also have a gallery view, and images will, by default, be shown as a gallery view. So I'm kind of, these two things almost contradict each other. So I'm just going to say images will be shown as galleries by default. And let's link to images, and let's get rid of this. Link to images. Image. And let's get rid of this whole section. Yeah, because I mean, I guess you could have a list of images, but it just doesn't seem like what I would want to see. So yeah, progress. Let's look at our roadmap. The MVP, ability to create an account, set up your budget. We haven't even really discussed like the budget stuff yet. Um, write to user pages, create new pages, categorize. Yeah. So let's talk about the budget. So every user will set their own budget. There might be a minimum, but you could set up to $1 bajillion a month if you wanted. And this budget will be sent to your outbound donation targets. So a donation target is any content page, which is like a page, a user, a community, anything with content. So probably not categories. You probably couldn't donate to categories. Probably. And like, yeah, so most views will be donation targets. Obviously not like settings or something. But yeah, let's see. Does this connect? Yeah. Okay, so I want to show the donation bar. This is the primary interaction that users will be like engaged with. This replaces this donation bar replaces like likes and other social, kind of like vanity metrics or whatever. So primary interface to donate a percentage of a user's unlocked budget to a donation target. We'll get to locking in a little bit. Plus and minus buttons. This is still up in the air. I'm still trying to nail down the exact interaction, but basically you'll just set a percentage to a page and you'll adjust it accordingly. This has been through lots of different iterations. Check out this little animation. So pretty consistent with the like plus and minus buttons. That first version has just a tip button as shown over here to the right. But I think it might be valuable to show it. Oh no, I'm frozen again. Hold on, I'm debugging some errors. So yeah, this was like a Substack that I imported, rethinking donation metrics. We still need to rethink it though, because there's a problem right now where I imagine people might try to donate like 15 to 25%, like each time they see something they like, and that's bad because that means that they'll be diluting all of their other donations. So really what we want to encourage is for people to donate the proportional amount, like right here, where the proportional amount is the inverse of how many other people are you donating to. So if I'm donating to 5 users, then the proportional one would be 1/5. But if I'm adding a new one and I'm donating to a new person and I'm already donating to 5 people, now the new proportion is 1/6. So this is like the math behind it, very simple math. But the point is that we're like conditioned by like coffee shop tip buttons. Oh, 25 is good, 15% is all right. Well, if you keep doing that, you're going to dilute all of your past donations. So we need to rethink it. And this little sketch right here gets into that mechanic of like the blue is the default. Maybe there's like a magic looking button for the default. Clicking more will increase it linearly, and then clicking less could decrease it asymptotically. So like it would approach 0, but you would never reach 0. Or if you say, I don't like this page, you could zero it out and you could say, no, I'm not a supporter of this page. But the minus sign, I don't think the minus sign should be able to get you to zero. I think you should always approach zero, but what if those little micro cents start adding up? So you can't click the minus sign to zero. You can only click zero. So this is what I mean by this donation bar will still need to be rethought. Like some kind of, this doesn't exist yet in the designs. So just putting that on your radar. What else do we got? And I encourage you to get into this wiki. I'm going to put it in the description. Just play around, explore, see what's going on. You know, these are the pages that still need high fidelity design. This right here is the gallery of recent files. These are really fun. Lots of little animations and sketches and stuff. Here's a cool one. To be able to take a header, a content header, and hold it down to open up some options. And one of the options could be turn it into a page. That could be cool because it would let you further chunk your content. And if you create more pages, you create more donation targets. So if you have a long essay that is already chunked into headers, then you could start breaking that up and making money from each thing. Excuse me. And on the headers topic, let's discuss headers a little bit real quick. And I'll probably wrap it up here pretty soon. But content headers will be collapsible. So check out this beautiful little GIF. And probably what we're thinking is like, I personally love tables of contents and like the little sidebar things where it's like you can sift through the content really quickly. But I think WeWrite won't even need a table of contents because of this collapsibility thing. And maybe if you double tap on one of the page headers, it collapses them all. So it could get you to having a table of contents without even needing additional UI. So let me try to find an example of like, actually, I'll just click on, I've even referenced my own stuff on here. So here's my portfolio, and me and my old colleague, John Centerfit, he helped me write this extension to build a sidebar for Wikipedia, to take the table of contents and put it on the sidebar. It was awesome. It was adjustable. That was great. It does exist on iPad, and now they finally got around to making it for web. And I'm happy for them. I'm proud of them, whatever. It's actually available on this documentation wiki as well. It's just, I don't really write that many sections, so it doesn't come up. But the problem is, I mean, it's not a problem that it's on the sidebar, but when you're on mobile, it's like hard to find. On WeWrite, it's going to be right there. Since the sections will be collapsible, that's how we're going to do it. And they actually are collapsible on MediaWiki as well. It's just not as beautiful. It doesn't animate the text size. It doesn't have this beautiful micro interaction. So we're trying to become the Apple of wikis and make it really pretty. User journey, this is just kind of like roughly in order the pages we'll need. We still need login, figure out what's going on the home page in terms of like top level navigation. Editing a page might have to look different just to give some kind of visual cue to tell the user, hey, this is editable. let's see, personas. We've got, so like journalists are an example of a high risk user. We're very focused on privacy and security. We want to make sure that your writing isn't compromising your, you know, yeah, we want free speech on here, within the limits of the law. No illegal speech, but free speech for sure. Um, curators are one persona, because you could literally just curate links to other pages or whatever, and if people really like your lists, then they'll donate to you. um, on the topic of curation, like we're not gonna have a native bookmarking feature. We're just gonna like let you add pages to pages, and one of your pages could be my favorite pages. Congrats! Now you have a bookmark functionality. We want we want to design as little functionality as possible, to make sure that this is like a self-similar kind of complex system that people can use it for whatever. Um, and that's how we plan on unleashing the mimetic forces of society. Um, and yeah, I'd like to make some YouTube videos going through some of those essays. So this is all, the plan is all out in public. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd like to slice this up into different chunks. There's more to this wiki, to the documentation wiki, that is, that I haven't gone through, so maybe I'll keep this up, and we'll keep going through